Hello there, welcome to my cooking class. Hey guys, so glad you're popping in. We're just gonna wait, I know, for 30 seconds here to get a few live people on. So how are you doing with your holidays? It's the first day of December, I can't believe this. Anyway, I wanted to do a cooking class today that is plant-based. In fact, it's a vegan, gluten-free dinner. And I'm really excited about it because I've got a couple guests traveling from Vancouver today. I told them this is going to be a new recipe for you and I think they're going to love it. In fact, I know they will. I'll let you know the results. Now, here's the thing, guys. I am trying to save you guys a ton of money, and I know that sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, but you go and look at a recipe online and it's got like all these different ingredients that you totally don't have in your kitchen. And so then automatically you throw your hands up and you just sort of say, I can't make that. Well, I'm going to show you how you can make your life super, super simple just by using our Epicure products, because they've done all the mixing actually in the package. Yeah, so in the package today that we're going to use, and we're going to use two different packages, saving us a ton of money and eliminating spice jars in our cupboard. But this one actually has spices, fire roasted onions, tomato powder, cornstarch, garlic, salt, mustard, black pepper, cilantro, and cayenne pepper. It's all packed in one little package. How cool is that? So we're going to get started. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is I've done this up in advance. And the reason I'm doing this is this summer, I made a recipe for a vegan meatball made with mushrooms. And I rated it an 11 out of 10. It was so darn delicious. I totally could eat that like all the time. And I thought, okay, but mushrooms are sort of expensive now. How can I save you guys money? And I decided to do lentils. So you don't need to see lentils cooked, but I will tell you how I cooked them and how we're gonna make lentil meatballs with a coconut curry sauce. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Okay, so first things first, I needed to cook up some lentils. And you can get different kinds of lentils out there. So fun food fact, there's whole lentils and there's split lentils. And when you're making this recipe, you need the whole lentils, okay? Big difference, because the split lentils, which are usually your red ones, will turn into mush. It's used very commonly in Indian food, dal, D-A-L, but we're going to make ours with whole lentils. Now, I was just looking in my cupboard. I'm just using up what I've got because I don't want to buy groceries when I've got stuff already in my cupboard. So I have these black ones. Now, black ones, just so you know, are really expensive. I can't even remember when I bought them, but there's a good shelf life on lentils. They're good for about a year. Make sure when you buy them and they come in plastic wrap that you put them in an airtight container, because that plastic that they put things in, it's one of the reasons why Epicure doesn't use plastic. But the chemicals leach into your food, and if you're letting it sit there for long periods of time, probably not the most flavorful thing to do. So what I've done is I've used our multi-purpose pot. I basically put a cup of whole lentils, and if you can't get black ones, get green ones. Here's a fun food fact. Did you know that Canada produces 45% of the lentils in the world? Wow, I knew we were like a mustard capital, but I had no idea. So green lentils are very, very common in Canada and very inexpensive. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be using the food processor, and I'm going to only put in about half. And the reason I'm only going to put in about half is I want there to be some mouthfeel. I guess that's the word I'm going to use. So I'm leaving about half of that in there. We are going to use it later, but I'm going to put it in after I pulse this. And you're going to make couscous. Now, my multi-purpose pot was being used for my lentils. So I thought, why not show you guys how to use couscous in a steamer? This is a rectangular steamer. And all I've done is I've put a half a cup of couscous in here with 1 cup of water, put the lid on it, threw it in the microwave, and in my microwave, it took about 6 minutes. It's perfect. I'm not kidding. It's perfect. And we're gonna use our saute spoon, which is part of our kitchen utensil collection, and we're gonna dump that right in. Okay, love this. Set that aside. Okay, next we are going to add some flavor. And this is where the keema curry is going to come in. Just so you know, this recipe, I'm modifying it. This recipe won the top vegan recipe in a cooking contest. But rather than you buying all those spices, I just thought, let's try it with Epicure. So I know it's going to be good. So we're going to use our scissors. And we're just going to cut our container open. And just so you know, I always use little bits and pieces of my spices. I might not want to make keema curry as it says on the recipe pack, so I usually just put a little bit of tape on the bottom and tape it up. All right, so I want to put some flavor in here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of keema curry in here. So using our 4-in-1 spoon, I'm going to grab the teaspoon one at this end, and I am going to put roughly 2 teaspoons. And just so you know, I've done the TV version here, so I know how much flavor to add. I did tell you it's a new recipe, right? Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. Now, I also know that I love garlic, and this is a pantry basic. You need to have it in your home. This is minced garlic. 1/2 teaspoon is equal to a clove of garlic. So rather than having garlic sprouted in the kitchen, just keep this on hand. I'm literally going to stick my 4-in-1 spoon in here, and I'm going to add, flip it over, 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic. Yum. Now, I was thinking flavor-wise, and you could put, if you have any, but I don't want to complicate it for you, you could put ginger in here, or hopefully Home Office is going to come out with something in the future. They had something way back when, and I love it. And I've been seeing all these recipes lately for za'atar, and so if you happen to be an Epicurean and you had bought this from before, you can tell I've had it for a long time, you may want to put za'atar in. If you can't find it, ginger, or just eliminate it. But I know I've got guests coming over tonight, and this is going to be like my secret recipe kind of thing. So I don't need a lot because there's lots of flavor in here. That was 1/2 teaspoon, by the way. Okay, and now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in my food processor. Give me a second. Let me just snap this on. Put my lid on here. And I'm just gonna pulse this so that it just becomes like a course meal. It's gonna look like sand. I don't wanna put too much. I don't want it to become mush. Okay, so let's just take a look at what it looks like. Perfect. You can see it's steaming still. Okay, so that is what it's supposed to look like, okay? So it's got a little bit of texture in there, but remember, I'm gonna put the whole ones in. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get a large bowl and we're gonna scoop this in. Hey, you probably noticed I'm wearing gloves. I don't know if you watched my cooking class this summer, but I actually was trying to put gloves on when I was doing my kebabs, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so hot, and it was like me trying to get my hands inside Spanx. It was a nightmare, so I decided this time I was gonna put on my gloves sooner than later, because you'll need gloves, for sure. Okay. All right, now, I'm not gonna clean out this because I'm gonna use it one more time. So with this meal, we're also going to add tofu. Now, I had tofu in my fridge. You're gonna use 1/2 package, and you're gonna wanna drain it. Now, this is firm tofu, which means there's not a lot of moisture in. You do not want to use silken tofu for this recipe because this is going to be our binder. Remember, this is a vegan meal and you want to dry it off as much as you can. If you can't find firm, because I find at my grocery store it sells so quickly, get the medium firm and press it to try to get out as much moisture as you can. Some people say put it between 2 bricks that are covered. I don't have bricks. I'm from BC. I'm not from Ontario where you guys have brick houses everywhere. So we're wood capital here. Okay, so anyway, now that I've got my block, I'm just going to use, if I can unearth it here, my ceramic knife, and we're just gonna cut it into little cubes here. We're gonna mulch it up anyway, but it just makes it a little bit easier for my little bowl. Drop my blade in a second. It's not liking me. There it is. Okay. We're just gonna put those in now. For this part, we're going to want to make sure that we process it with a tablespoon of oil. So grab our 4-in-1 spoon, right? The tablespoon part. And we're going to put roughly about a tablespoon. You'll need this to be your emulsifier. This is olive oil, by the way. Okay, set that aside. Put the lid on here. And this is going to become creamy. I'll show you it in just a second. Hear it? Awesome. All right. Let's show you what this looks like. Okay, so there's what it looks like. This is our binder, okay? And we're just going to simply scoop this in here. And we are going to be making meatballs. I'll just show you quickly why I have gloves on and how I'm making them and the tools that I'm using, okay? So give me a second. Let me just get this out. I want all the great flavor on here. Okay, and scoop out till the very last little bit. And if you don't think you're gonna like vegetarian food, you have to try recipes like this, or vegan food, because they're delicious. Like, honestly, my friends, I'm not even gonna tell them, okay? I know they're just gonna love it, unless they're watching this right now. Okay, so now I've got some flavor in here. What I am going to add for sure while I'm mixing it is salt. As you know, most of our Epicure products, well, all of our Epicure products are really good on sugar and sodium content. And I do find in order for you to enhance the flavor, you do need to put some sea salt in. So I'm gonna say roughly about a teaspoon, and it definitely needs this, guys. Because your tofu doesn't have a lot of flavor. And if you don't salt this, I guarantee you're not gonna have the flavor enhanced and tasty. Okay, so there's one more thing that I wanna add. And it's up to you whether you want to add it, but I happen to love, and I know my guests do as well, cilantro. Cilantro is one of those spices that you either love it or you hate it. So you can decide whether you want to use it or not. I totally am, so let's grab some. All right, so I've roughly got, if I squish this down, it's probably the equivalent of about a third of a cup. You don't really have to measure that much. If you don't like it, don't put as much in. Don't put any in. If you love it a lot, put a whole half a cup in. We're just going to use, I don't know if you can see this tucked behind my bowl, but we're just going to cut this up. Just chop it a little bit so we don't have big chunks. And we're just going to mix this right into our meatballs. it's going to give that extra flavor. So there we go, you can see that. This is our flexible cutting board in the small size. Okay, and now I'm going to show you that you must have this product for this as well. And you know that I always use this in almost every cooking class I ever do. If you bought this, you've probably run out of it because, like I said, I love this. This is like my secret recipe. For those of you who saw my mushroom caps the other day, this was the product I used. I love it. I love it. It's SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. Okay, and I'm just going to roughly put in about half a teaspoon. That's all you need, but that's going to enhance some flavor. Okay, got it all mixed up nicely. Next, what we're doing is we're gonna get our baking sheet with the liner, and you must have this tool. I've got gloves on, but for making scoops, this is the best. Check this out. Literally, you drop it into your hand, you roll it up, and you put it on your baking sheet. If you're using spoons, I'm just gonna tell you, you're gonna be fighting getting your mix off. Oops, you know what I just realized? Because I'm squishing this, I forgot to put my, I always forget something. This is why I don't follow recipes. I'm looking at this going, why? I forgot my assistant's probably watching this going, throw in the whole ones. I'm looking over here and I'm seeing it. I was wondering why it looked so different. So I'm just mixing this, the whole lentils in there. Remember I said I wanted that mouthfeel? There you go. Totally haven't lost it yet. Here we go. We'll just roll them again. And I'm not going to do these all for you, but I do want to show you how amazing this tool is. Now, they come in a couple different sizes. This is the tablespoon one, or you can get a quarter cup one, which is fabulous for doing your muffins. Okay, so there you go. You get an idea of what's going on. I've already done the TV version. You would put this in an oven, by the way. This recipe will make 20 meatballs. Well, vegan balls, lentil balls. There you go, okay? 20. So it's gonna serve a family of 4. Everyone's going to get 5 meatballs. Okay, so it bakes in a 400-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our sauce. So we're going to get our saute pan going on the stove with just a little, we're going to add some coconut milk, okay? And what are we going to use? We're going to use, I love this. This is our coconut curry mussels. I'm not making mussels, but the flavor in this is absolutely delish. So we're going to add coconut milk. These, by the way, I think might be going on sale here pretty soon. These are prep bowls. You get 4 of them, and they've got measurements on the side. So I'm actually roughly going to put in, oops, helps if I open this up. Give me a second. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, where's my saute spoon? And roughly we're gonna put in about 2 cups. Now I'm gonna tell you, the sauce in this recipe is so darn delicious that you're probably or maybe wanting to put more in. Give me a second. You might even wanna do double the recipe. I'm just saying, this sauce is pretty divine. Okay, so I'm just squeezing this out. And not all coconut milk, by the way, is made the same. This one you're noticing is very, very thick, and it's in a Tetra Pak. I bought it for the very first time because it was much purer ingredients, but I am finding that in that package in particular, it's really hard to mix them up. When you buy the cans, you can stir it, but lesson learned. I do like the fact that I can decide how much I want to take out of the Tetra Pak, and I'm not using all those cans. So I think it's a little bit more economical. Okay, so we're just gonna get this going. Melt this down a little bit. Remember, our meatballs are in the oven, cooking at this point. And all we need to do, like this takes all the guesswork out of it. You're literally going to do the hard part, find your scissors, and open up the package. Okay, so let's do this. If you're always wondering why I cut from the bottom, it's so I can display this when I'm doing my pictures. Okay, so the ingredients for this, and this is such a nice Indian curry, and it's not hot. It's got nutritional yeast, onions, spices, garlic, some lime powder. We've got chives, mustard, and salt. It's delish. It's one of my favorites. You may find that sometimes this goes out of supply right now, and that's just because it's so darn good. And it doesn't have to be used for mussels. Literally on the package it says throw it with clams or prawns or shrimp. You could use chicken, or it can be a sauce for lentils today. Stir this around a bit. Now, because I want to change the recipe like I always do, and I want to check out how this is going to taste, I have, and you know I will not throw out any of my veg. Garbage day was yesterday, and while I was going through my fridge, I noticed I had a few tomatoes, and I thought, why not? So we're going to chop up, I've already washed them. Love this ceramic knife, because of course you can see how, even though these are quite ripe, that it just cuts through this like butter. I think you can see that. Let's move that handle, that might be a little bit better. Turn this down, I don't want to boiling. And I am literally going to put all of this juice, seeds, and of course the skin right inside this. It's going to make it go further. It's going to use up my vegetables. And I know it's going to taste just super, super perfect. So again, this is our large flexible cutting board. Let's just drop that right in. And we're just going to cook that down. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. Perfect. Okay, so let's just cook this up a bit. I'm going to just taste it a little bit right now to make sure I've got enough seasoning in here. Okay. Oh, yum. Sorry. That's how good it is. Oh, I love it. Okay, the last thing we're going to do, and I'm going to go grab my meatballs here right away because I've already baked them, is I'm going to throw in some lime. So get your lime. I've washed it in advance. Use your 2-in-1 citrus press. Because I'm using lime, we need to flip this over. This is sized better to squeeze our lime in here. And we're just going to squeeze that in. I love this citrus press. It's great for gift giving over the holidays. But look, it literally squeezes it from the inside out. Now, here's another fun food fact while I'm just running to go get my meatballs. Let me tell you about it before I forget. The meat, did you know that in Italy, like lentils are so good. Okay, they're really good for protein. They're really good in fiber. They're good for your heart. They're low in fat. They're inexpensive. And Italians bring in the new year with lentils. I didn't know that earlier. There's your fun food fact. Because apparently, going back into Roman times, lentils are supposed to give them wealth and happiness. So I'm thinking once this meal's done, it's going to be wealth and happiness for me as well. Okay, so let me go grab my meatballs. Okay, so this is how they turn out, and I'm going to break one up, so I only get 4, just so you know, to see what it looks like inside. There you go. Can you see? So it's got the chunks of the lentils, the whole lentils in there, but it's moist. It's still moist, but staying together really nicely. How does it taste? I'm glad I put the seasoning in because, like I said, excuse me. Sorry. It doesn't have a lot of flavor without adding those extra things. Okay? So once your sauce is cooked down and your tomatoes have all got flavor, all you're gonna do is you're now going to, and I don't know if I wanna do this so far in advance because my guests are coming. Let me get a smaller bowl. I'll just do one personally for me because I think if I let it sit in there, it'll just get soggy. 1 second, guys. Okay, so this is how you're going to serve it. Sorry, that was bad planning on my behalf. I didn't know they were coming to my house for dinner tonight. But see why I said you might want to make 2 sauces. And then all you're going to do is you're going to just drop your meatballs in here. And I would recommend, if you like cilantro, let me find some sprigs of cilantro here, is just add a little bit. Remember, people eat with their eyes. You may just want to drop, let's see if I can find one, put a little cilantro sprig on the top, and there you have it. There is, excuse me, there's your meal. So how does it taste? Actually, I got this extra one that I sort of did it half before. I'm gonna just put a little scoop in. And like I said, the lentils have good flavor, but oh my gosh, this is too good, guys. Okay, first time I've made it, and I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna wanna double this sauce because the sauce with this, match made in heaven. So that's my cooking class, guys. If you've never tried a vegan meal, try this recipe. I'm gonna have it loaded up. And if you're looking for another idea, go check out my mushroom ones because I think I like it better than regular meatballs. So enjoy, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Let me know what you're thinking of these cooking classes. Take care, everyone. Yum. I'm gonna devour that as soon as I'm finished. Bye for now.